It's 7:07. I'm Daedalus Howell, and we are with Brandi ASKER. She's running for City Council here in Santa Rosa. Hello, Brandi.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you. Running for City Council seems to me such an onerous thing to do with one's life and time. What drew you to this?
Really, it's my passion to serve.
Yeah.
I have two young children. My husband was born and raised here in Santa Rosa, so we have family ties and really care a great deal about Santa Rosa as a city. Want to make it a better place for my kids. I also am involved in the business community here with 14 different stores with Starbucks. So
Oh my God. Wow.
I think, just being involved in the business community and the school community with my kids and my husband's family being rooted here, I have a lot of care and passion.
You're invested.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it now that you're going to make better? Or is it just awesome now and you're just going to improve it?
Yeah, I think it's a high growth period for us.
Yeah.
So the way I see it is this next 5 years is really important. I think we could go multiple directions, and I'd like to help with kind of having that business background, balance our budget, increase our revenue, but do it with an agricultural base as well. So it's kind of that, it's just an exciting time, I think, to be involved.
And it's this is a period, a window, wherein some definition can be achieved, right? And if you have a vision for Santa Rosa, I mean, I know there's multiple ways this can go, as you mentioned. If you could choose one, what would that vision be like? I know that's a very reductive and often cumbersome question, but
I think the pro-growth with agricultural roots is probably the best way to simplify it for me. So
what does that mean?
And what that might look like is, when you think about, one of the topics I talk about regularly is cannabis, right? So to me, that's an agricultural base.
Right.
So if we can continue.
Not recreational.
Well, pro-cannabis, pro-cannabis in general is really what I'm talking about. I mean, I think that there's a population of really what I would consider farmers that we should be embracing.
Farmers and entrepreneurs.
Right, and really helping to increase revenue and grow our agricultural roots that way. And then I also think that we need to, we've got a homeless issue, we've got a crisis, and we have population that exceeds the homes that we have available. Right. So I also really think that it's important that we continue to build up in the center of the city and create more options for housing.
And when you say build up, you mean literally like build up skywards instead of
it's the fastest. There's still lots of research going on with that, but I absolutely think it's one of the fastest ways for us to create multiple options for housing.
I've spoken to a lot of people over the years about creating a more urban-style housing environment downtown, like literally growing upwards.
Right.
And, do you think that would change the character of the city to be more urbanized or more urban-looking, I suppose?
I think if we do it while keeping the historic buildings as a focal point, I think some of the stuff we've already seen starting to happen downtown does that. It needs to be balanced, but I think it could be done really well with integrating both. I
mean, are we a big city about to happen, or are we trying to keep it tight?
We're a big city already happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, when you look at, we are part of the Bay Area. We're the North Bay. We've got the
We're
SMART
the biggest
train.
city
We've got
before
the airport expansion.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of things underway that we need to create infrastructure and housing to support.
But I think we still think like a small city.
Yeah, that's like I said, like keep that agricultural root, right? Like how do we do a little of both, but stay true to who we are? Not, I'm not saying like let's build housing in all of the protected spaces, right? It's more how do we create certain portions that are dedicated to more housing and different options,
right?
Because we do have a high population already in our city.
So, okay, what does Santa Rosa look like 5 years from now? Right. What things have you put in motion that have transformed it? We have a thriving cannabis production and dispensary scene.
Yeah.
Because it's legal as well. It should be, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And potentially we have some innovative things we're doing as a city that we're selling to other cities. So I think there's a lot of things happening. I don't have specifics to share with you at the moment, but I think there's a lot of work being done that we are leaders on, and we don't share or sell our innovative pieces quite yet. So I think there's that as well.
Yeah. When you say innovations, are we talking specific like intellectual properties?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, like what? I don't know what they are.
Yeah, no, and I think we still have lots of work to do with that too, but I'm just kind of giving you like that forward thinking. Like my 5-year goal would be that we have revenue sources coming from multiple places, one of which is innovation that hasn't been tapped yet. One is cannabis that we're setting precedent around and really approaching from the farmer perspective.
Right.
And how do we help other cities with getting what they need from us as the leaders of that agriculture. So, we ship our grapes all over the U.S. Can we ship our cannabis? So
I wonder.
Right. So there's just lots to think through with that.
So you're saying like do the thing, become experts in it, and then consult to other municipalities.
Essentially.
About how awesome we did it. Okay.
Yeah. Or how to do it right with the right partnerships. I see a lot more private-public partnerships as well. So I'd love to work more with, how do we help with the communication between police and private, and how do we bridge the gap so that they have the right communication to support each of their roles, because we all own the safety and the rollout of these things together. I picture downtown thriving, booming, more business.
Well, describe it to me. Like, what does it look like?
It's same now, just more, right? Okay. So I think we keep the historic base and kind of the look and the feel, and
more scraggly street musicians and cigarettes. I mean, is the idea to class it up and make it cool, or?
Yeah, okay. I think class it up, make it cool. Some hotels. Yeah. I think bring some more local businesses as well as corporate business. I don't know if you guys have been down to Coddingtown today. But they had the Nordstrom Rack grand opening.
Yes, I heard about that.
Seriously, I was there for a good portion of today. It was amazing.
Our last guest was there and late because of it.
So, well, I'm not late because of it. Not you, but I mean, that mall, like I said, I run 14 different businesses right here in Santa Rosa. That mall has not seen this much traffic in double-digit years.
I'm sure you're right.
So the fact that we can, that's the idea, right? How do we do it right, but that fits what our community is asking for and looking for, and bring the traffic to the focal points that our businesses need?
You have a lot of energy, right? And you're obviously a big thinker, right? What is it about this particular generation, your generation? I'm going to assume you're a millennial, right?
I'm close. I'm a cusper.
You're a cusper.
I'm a cusper.
You're in that Gen X millennial space.
That's right.
And a couple of other candidates are in the same space as you, more or less, right? Why is this happening? This youth trend with city government? Is it just time? Have we just seen?
From what I'll actually speak to the millennial studies I've done for work. I manage a lot of millennials. And that's the next generation of our employment boom. So
can it be saved?
Can it be saved? Oh gosh!
I love slagging
here's what I love about millennials, honestly, and I preach about this pretty regularly.
And you're a cusper, so
I'm a cusper, so I can also speak on behalf of. But just in helping my managers lead millennials, they're usually very passionate about making a difference. Mm-hmm. So it's not just about the paycheck. It's how do I do something bigger with bigger impact, and they have this belief that they can make change. And I think that's awesome. And I think it needs to be rewarded and recognized, even for taking big risks, just to try to do that. That's right.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really awesome time, and we should be welcoming millennials with open arms, because they can maybe help make big difference in even little ways. So
I think that's really astute observation. I should get over my cynical.
Yeah, I think you should. You have to rethink that one. Yeah.
I will. Okay, so you're in office. Who do you want on the council with you?
Oh, this is a fun question. Yeah. I think Ernesto and Julie are both two that I would love to serve with. Mm-hmm. I'm going to leave it to the public for that last seat.
Very diplomatic.
Yeah. Hey, I think each one, this is going to be a difficult decision for people, and I think each one brings a different flavor or expertise. So I do think, just on that same point, diversity is key. We do not have enough women in politics. We do not have enough different-minded, non-politician thought process on council right now. So that's why I need one of the seats.
There we go. We're talking with Brandi Asker. She's running for City Council in Santa Rosa. We'll be right back. It's 7:07. We're back with Brandi Asker. She's running for City Council in Santa Rosa. Where are you from? I know your husband's from here, but where are you from?
So I 17 years in Santa Rosa, so I still consider myself a local.
Oh, you're Santa Rosa. Yeah, straight up. Yeah.
But I'm from the Bay Area, so born and raised in Northern California.
But may I ask?
Cupertino.
Okay.
Yeah. So I grew up down in Cupertino. Went to Monte Vista High. The Deanza
like
Junior
territory.
College. That is, it wasn't Apple territory then, but it is now. Yeah.
I mean, like Apple computers.
No, I knew what you meant. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone's always talking about the orchards that used to be around.
No. It was Apple computer. Territory. So my mom was single mom, raised me independently. And
siblings or?
Nope. only child. My father passed away when I was very young, so she didn't remarry, and worked 2 jobs, went to school at night to get us further ahead. So I think a lot of my ambition and drive comes from her. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like you owe something to her or to yourself to succeed as you have?
You know, I think it's more when you've seen those that have less opportunity, or you've lived through something that was challenging and you've seen someone who changed their circumstances like my mom did, you just realize what's possible, and you want to do everything you can to make the best of your opportunities. So
do you want to help enable others in Santa Rosa?
100%, yeah. So I'm very passionate about serving the community, specifically youth, so and opportunity youth. So social advocates for youth, CHOPS Teen Club, Boys and Girls Club. Those are all organizations that I like to work with regularly for that very reason. Yeah.
And do you do that to give them a sense of what's possible in their lives and how?
Yeah, if we can do anything to help inspire, encourage, have conversation with. We do partnerships, so I really love the idea of private and public partnerships. I mentioned that a bit earlier.
Right.
So, you know, getting Starbucks involved with social advocates for youth. How do we bridge the gap? And we will help them with their interview skills, and we'll also hire when they're ready for their first job, right?
So basically you're creating an army of baristas.
That's right, we are, well, hopefully, yes.
Well, let's talk about the Starbucks factor, because you're in a very interesting position. Obviously, you're doing really well with the 14 branches that you oversee in your district. But Starbucks is a corporate entity.
That's right.
It's not a mom and pop business.
That's right.
But you seem very pro-business and pro-local business.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to reconcile all that, or do you see it as part of the same phenomena?
I see it as part of the same phenomena. I think, you know, I'm going to speak specifically to the work we do in our downtown store. So, you know, that store, my manager at that store has done more to connect with the police officers, the small business owners surrounding her, the Chamber of Commerce, right? Like there's a lot of work we do that is very similar to small business owners, and in conjunction with small business owners to help increase profit and safety and culture downtown for all of us.
Well, there's certainly a synergistic thing that happens when there's like a Starbucks in town. It becomes a traffic driver, that kind of thing. But it makes it difficult, I think, this is not your fault, for somebody to envision opening their own independently owned cafe in that same area.
Yeah.
How do you work with that when somebody may have an issue and comes to you as a council member and says, I want to do my own cafe and I feel Starbucks is crowding me out? You
know, it's something that I would have to abstain from voting on.
Sure, fair enough. Yeah.
So, you know, I think it's the same thing with me commenting on it now. Like, I don't know, I couldn't tell you Starbucks'
you don't represent
stance
Starbucks.
on that. That's exactly right. Yeah, but I do support all business owners, small and large. Yeah.
That's great. And so in terms of business and trying to engage more businesses and create business in downtown, any particular things you're thinking about? Besides, I know we talked a little bit about the cannabis and stuff like that, but like are there some specific things for business that you want to do, like alleviate permitting issues or? Yeah,
so thanks for bringing that up. I think not just for businesses, but also just for building homes. So it's definitely something I've had experience in both the private sector. My husband has flipped houses for a lot of years. So something that we've experienced in the private sector, as well as I do a lot of the real estate work with Starbucks as my job as well.
Right.
So from both perspectives, something that you will see and you will hear, I'm sure you already have, but our process in Santa Rosa is not the fastest. It's not the most specific.
Is your husband in real estate or?
No, he's a stay-at-home dad, really, but he likes to flip real estate as a hobby.
That's a great hobby.
Yeah, it's a fun one. So but I think it's a huge opportunity for us to help streamline our process. It's one of the most difficult cities to build in, and there's a lot of ambiguity around it. So we don't know exactly what it's going to cost us, and we don't know exactly how long it'll take. And you know, you brought up small business owners. I mean, I'm talking from a corporate perspective where we maybe have a bigger bank account to be able to deal with that ambiguity.
Right.
Others
and the resources to weather it too. I mean, you can just wait a year.
Some can.
Some can't.
So, you know, really it needs to come down to us, you know, realizing, making quick change, making it a systematic process, and being very welcoming and inviting to help get it kick-started.
Obviously, your corporate background and experience in business is an asset, right?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to generating business in Santa Rosa and that kind of thing. How do you get that across to your fellow council members, though? How do they perceive that and work with that?
You know, I don't know that I could speak on behalf of them on how they perceive it. I do think something that I've felt along the campaign process so far, being the first one that I've ever done, is that when you come from a non-political background, it's not like the most, come on in, we welcome you with open arms. So I do think it's something I would love to see change. You know, we talked a lot about opportunity, we talked about women. I'm passionate about both. And like I already said, I think that women are underrepresented tremendously in politics. So
right.
I think it's one of those areas where we really need to be open, we need to be accepting, and we need to help and sponsor and nurture anyone that's going to have the courage to take a risk and try something new to serve our community.
And how are you going to bring them in? How are you going to bring in more?
This is it. This is how, you know, I think running is the first step. You know,
right.
more
and being seen and
yeah, and I would love to encourage more people like me with diverse backgrounds that don't come from politics to do this as well. Like, it takes courage and it takes sponsorship, and I'd be there to help whoever needed it.
You're watching 707. We're with Brandi Asker talking about running for City Council. We'll be right back. And we're back on 707. I'm Daedalus Howell. We're talking with Brandi Asker. She's running for City Council here in Santa Rosa. And one thing I've asked some of the other candidates is City Council is often a gateway drug, if you will, to the addiction that is politics.
Right.
Right? Some people burn out. Some people end up becoming the king junkies.
Right.
This metaphor is not working. But you know what I'm saying, though? It's just the beginning of a career in politics.
Right. So I've made this statement before, this is not, I do not currently have any sort of desire to be the king junkie of politics. Yeah, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to go with it. I mean, you said it.
This is going to be, they're going to pull this up 20 years from now.
That's good. That's fine. I am not the king junkie of politics. There you go. I said it twice. No, I think, you know, this is about, I want to serve my community. I want to make Santa Rosa a better place for my children. You know, I know you didn't ask me specifically about campaign financing, but I want to just take a moment and kind of explain my thoughts on that. It might support that piece. Yeah, so it's all, I mean, it's public anyway. You can find it all online. But,
well, yeah, okay. Are you facing a campaign financing issue? Or?
No. So why I want to share is, I think, you know, kind of piggybacks on what we were talking about before. I'm a strong believer that I'm going to ask people for their vote, not their money.
Right.
And so
just the opposite of me. I totally go for the money. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, that's been a big point for us. So, you know, any of the financing that we're utilizing, it's happening primarily from friends, family, directly from my own loaning. So when I'm out, I'm not asking for funds. I'm just asking for people to spread the word. And I think, you know, why I'm sharing that
differentiates you from the other candidates.
Yeah,
for sure.
And why I'm sharing that too is because it goes back to that previous statement. You know, I don't think it should take thousands of dollars for somebody to run for office. I think it should take people recognizing and understanding we need diverse perspective, and we need to be more welcoming.
So you're advocating take the money out of local politics and help locals represent locals by creating a forum where that.
Yep.
How do you do that though? And I could just go buy a bunch of lawn signs.
I
bought a bunch with Juan's name on it just for kicks, right?
Right.
And anyone can do that, but I had to pay money for it. What if somebody who wants to run doesn't have the dough for a bunch of lawn signs?
Honestly, I foresee myself helping with that in the future. So
you personally, or
yeah, me personally. I think, you know, if it, I've started a nonprofit in the past. I could see myself doing that again. So 4 years ago, I started. I was founding chair for Women's Development Network for Northern California. Since then, I've handed it off. There's a new board in town, and I'm on to something different. But that is a passion of mine, to help people have the courage and the resources to make change, to have opportunity, to impact something, you know. So I could definitely see me being hooked on that.
Got it.
For future.
But not on the adrenal phenomena that is politics.
That's right.
But what if somebody asked you though to run for supervisor, right? And said, we have this infrastructure, you have the right perspective, energy, drive, and smarts. Will you do this? How do you turn that down?
I don't know that I would. I think I'm open. You know, I'm definitely somebody who wants to continue to have impact. I've made that part clear, right? So I think it's more, I don't have my eyes set on that, and that's not my goal. I think it could go in multiple directions. As long as I can continue to impact my community, serve others, that will be in my future.
Do you think you could have more impact as in politics or as a business person?
Both.
Because you could be, I could see you starting a company that employs lots of people.
Right.
You know, or continuing with the one you're with.
Yeah, I think it's an and for me. Anyone that knows me, it's usually an and, not an or. I really like to find ways to help things work together and have larger impact by bridging. So I would anticipate that I continue on kind of both. One
thing that fascinates me, and talking to the other candidates as well, is this drive to serve. That's something, that's a gene that I haven't got. I'm just a selfish jerk, right?
Yeah.
Where do you get that passion behind wanting to actually help people?
Yeah, I think I started a little bit by telling you about my mom.
Yeah.
So a lot of it comes from that. You know, you have something you grow up in and you realize, oh my gosh, like I came from this and here's where I am, you know, I'm proud of that. And I had to work really hard for that. And I saw what she did to provide a home for us, right? So those are the things that really build character, I think. And I want to do that for my children. I want to do it for other opportunity youth. And so I think it starts from that. And then once you get exposure, so now I feel like with working with Say and CHOPS, and you start to see more and more of what the need is, and it fuels you, right? Like I can help with this, and I see what pain they have is something I had. And so it's a relatable thing, and I want to help.
So given that empathy, right?
Yeah.
How does that translate into how you work with others, like on the council? I mean, are you able to, obviously you have your own distinct vision.
Right.
Are you able to integrate that with other visions, or do you have to just wipe them out?
No, I think absolutely I'm more collaborative.
Okay.
So I think I'll go back to NorCal Women Development Network. So this was a team that, they're 100% volunteer employees. No one got paid anything to do the work that we were doing, right?
That's what we're going to do next, guys. That's what we're doing. Volunteer.
Yeah, it was 100% volunteer board member base. So, and when I selected those board members, they were from all different diverse backgrounds for that very reason. So, and then to bring together people that I have no authority over, I don't pay them anything. We just have to get passionate and excited about having the same goal. And then how do we get everybody's ideas out there, merge the best ones together, listen to what's coming to us, and get the fastest way to the objective.
Which is a great model. Obviously it worked in that context. But then you bring it into the broken, limping, wounded thing that is city government. And I'm not sure if that can integrate fully.
Honestly, okay, so this is great. I'm glad you brought this up. So sometimes it's brought up that I don't have enough understanding of the city.
Well, I'm not saying you don't have an understanding. I'm saying those guys are crazy.
No, I know.
Okay.
But I want to take it from this place because it's been something that's been said. And it's true, right? I don't have the same experience or exposure to the organization that the city is. But that's a good thing. I think what I've exposed myself to recently shows me where there's some opportunity. It's run the same as any organization in my mind. I think there's ways that we can make it more productive. There's ways we can get morale to a better place. There's ways that we can align departments more efficiently. That is very similar to the way that you do work in a nonprofit or in a business.
How do you maintain that enthusiasm and that morale for yourself?
I am a goal-oriented type of person. I'm very driven, and I have ambition to help. And so I think when you kind of have all of those things, it's a natural thing that I'm almost it's the opposite. If I don't have something to focus my energy on, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
So it's not about how to keep the energy up. It's more, I need something to do with my energy.
Well, not just the energy, but the enthusiasm. It's easy. I get demoralized all the time, right? How do you prevent yourself from you just described it, but coming up against the wall and going, this wall won't break down. What do you do? Do you go through it, or do you scale it, or?
Yeah, scale it. I think it may be a scale over, it may be a scale around. I think it's where creativity comes in and courage. My grandfather has said a statement to me a number of times through campaigning. It's water on a duck, Brandi, water on a duck. So, I think you need sponsors around you. You need people that will support you. I have a very strong network of friends and family, and you need that to have courage to continue to work around obstacles. I would say so. We're talking with Brandi ASKER. She's running for City Council in Santa Rosa. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, good times. Thanks for having me. Come back. Yeah.